Hello, my name is Anton. I'm Chief Architect at Profisea Labs. And previously I was DevOps architect and cloud architect, was doing a lot of migration projects between different clouds, consulting the startups and large enterprise companies. And before that, I was just DevOps team lead, and before that, DevOps tech lead. So I'm DevOps engineer with a lot of years of experience. And for the last 1.5 year, I was working closely with the FinOps area, like doing projects related to cost consumption, reducing the cost consumption, and so on, with projects related to billing and financial parts. So that's about me. And today I want to talk with you about the trends that we will have next year. And trust me, we'll have a couple of really cool trends which will happen. They already started to happen this year, but they will continue on the next year, and it's going to be much bigger scale. So let's begin, and we will begin with the first trend, and I will be speaking about the DevOps trends right now. Then we'll talk about the FinOps trends, and the first trend is the Kubernetes. It's clear that Kubernetes will be with us next year. It's clear that we are going to have more and more projects related to Kubernetes next year. There will be more solutions related to manage the Kubernetes. Right now, we have a lot of startups who are doing different ways of managing the Kubernetes clusters, especially Kubernetes clusters across different clouds. So that kind of the projects which are doing the SaaS and PaaS for Kubernetes management, you will see more and more such companies in 2023. Also, the Kubernetes trend is moving to multi-cloud. Companies prefer to build a lot of clusters and then join those clusters together, so that you first of all can control all of your clusters together, but also those clusters are between different clouds. So the trend for the next year will be to have more such multi-cluster / multi-cloud cloud installations and support. There will be more projects related to FinOps inside the Kubernetes. There are a lot of startups which are currently working on this area, and we will see more tools and more projects coming up next year. So whatever is related to financial metrics and financial analysis, financial reports related to your Kubernetes cluster, you will see more and more projects next year, and it's going to be a hot topic on how to build a most efficient cluster for your application. That's going to be a hot topic next year. What else? More and more Kubernetes operators are going to be released next year. That's like a lot of them, and all of them are different. So it could be like operators related to security, like to keeping your secrets. I've been on KubeConf on this autumn, KubeConf Detroit in October, and I saw a lot of startups who bringing up the operator which is doing something, which is automating something, or secrets, or it's automating some management, or it's adding the additional layer of abstraction. So that kind of projects we will see the next year more and more. So we will need to learn them. We will need to first of all figure out which of those projects will stay, and then learn it. And of course, we'll need to figure out that layer of abstraction that they are adding. What else? GitOps. We will see more GitOps next year. Why? More Kubernetes clusters will have more CI/CD solutions. So more CI/CDs will happen inside the Kubernetes, and GitOps is like a perfect fit for Kubernetes. There are a lot of different tools which are doing the GitOps. It's like in Argo and FluxCD, and we will see more and more projects switching to GitOps approach and using the Argo and Flux and other alternatives with them, which will add more challenges next year, how to manage all of those like different installations, different clusters, how to keep the secrets. We will see more and more such questions next year, and probably solutions. I am expecting for some SaaS PaaS solutions which will like give possibility to control the whole Kubernetes cluster deployments, doing the CI/CD, and it can be like multi-cloud. That's what I'm expecting. So if you like new to Kubernetes, this is the perfect time to learn it quickly, to learn everything related to Kubernetes, because next year we'll have a lot of Kubernetes and Kubernetes related projects and work. Moving next, what else? I already mentioned that looks like the trend is moving to the multi-cloud, and that multi-cloud is not only for Kubernetes, but just for regular cloud, like multi-cloud installations. That's what's happening right now. There are a couple of reasons why. First of all, enterprise companies started to catch up. They started to move. They started their journey to the clouds. And usually, enterprise companies, they don't prefer one single cloud because of regulatory and then backups and so on. They prefer multi-cloud. They prefer a couple of the clouds. Sometimes it could be even couple of the clouds plus on-premise installation or co-location. It could be like that. And of course, this is where they're moving. So of course, next year we will see more and more multi-cloud projects, multi-cloud installations. And of course, it will bring another questions, issues that we will be dealing with. Like we will see definitely more and more projects, SaaS solutions, PaaS solutions, which are trying to fix the issue with managing multi-cloud environments. Definitely, we will see that. There should be more and more tools related to that. I'm pretty much sure that we will see a couple of tools and projects which are trying to solve that. We definitely will see a couple of automations around that. And of course, each and everyone will be trying to create the unique like set of scripts, set of code that they can reuse for different clouds. So this is what I see. It's going to be a year of the multi-cloud. We will be collaborating and a lot related to multi-cloud, and we will be looking for a perfect solution how to manage all those different clouds and how to manage deployments to them and how to manage security. So all of that will happen next year. That's multi-cloud. Moving. By the way, if you have any questions, you can ask those questions in a chat, and of course I will be answering those questions. I'm not saying that I will answer them right now. I'll say I will answer them at the end of the session. But if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask it right now. Moving next. So you know that we have a machine learning projects and the number of machine learning projects are growing very fast. We have more and more machine learning projects coming up, more and more AI projects. So a lot of different companies trying to do something in that AI/ML area. And because they're doing that, and because they're actually getting the really good results, more and more companies even created, more and more startups opened last year and the year before that. And because of that, because of the growing popularity of machine learning and AI overall, of course, the need to operate all of that is growing as well, which is operation part. So not only your developer need to figure out about the model and how to train it and how that model will look like, but this model need to be trained somewhere. There should be some infrastructure. Someone need to build it. Someone need to control it. So you need an engineer, or your data scientist will be doing it, or data engineer will be doing on him own, or you will have a DevOps engineer who will be familiar with the ML and MLOps and will build it for you. So this is what I'm expecting next year, that we will have more ML DevOps related work. So MLOps will have more that kind of projects and more DevOps or Ops related work there. Because of that, I'm again expecting that larger cloud providers, they will be trying to automate that story as much as possible, like to give us a solution that we can easily configure, like next done, or through the Terraform code, and it's basically done. I'm also expecting that next year we will see more SaaS and PaaS solutions, which are also trying to like automate MLOps, so to give you the framework, like not the framework, mainly like the way how you should work, how you should train, how you should save the results, and how you should reuse. So I'm pretty much sure that we'll see more such projects coming up next year. And of course, if you are interested in machine learning, and if you're interested in this part of like configuring and managing the infrastructure for the ML, probably again this is the best time to join, to start learning it, and basically to be MLOps engineer, because this is growing. We will have more such projects coming up next year. Yeah, what else? As I mentioned, so machine learning as a service by larger cloud providers, probably they will continue to improve that. Probably they will try to convince everyone that this is what we need to use, and for some companies it will work. As I mentioned, we will see more the machine learning automation and more tools, definitely, and more projects. So that's it about that MLOps. What else? Moving next. So we have another trend coming up next year is low-code applications. If you don't know what's the low-code applications, it's like equivalent of no-code applications. You heard probably about that concept. Is that the coding is basically moved from like a regular coding as we have, like writing the code, to more visual. You have different blocks, different entities, and you just moving them. And from visual side, you can build your application or your logic or whatever. Like if you're very long with the IT, within the IT, you probably know that like 5 or even 7 or even 8 years ago, there was like BPM systems, which like UI automation for business processes. That like you have like some kind of constructor, you have a UI pieces which like represents different logic, and you can collect or develop your business logic based on those like items in a UI. Same idea is for no code. Like you can develop your application without the code itself, but through the UI and through the UI entities, UI items, like building the Lego, the same story. And the same kind of the projects will be developed and will pop up next year for infrastructure. Why do you need to write a code in order to build the infrastructure on the clouds? If you can build it, if you can create it through the visual UI side, like just moving the blocks and then clicking generate, and it will create the infrastructure for you. And it looks like this is the way how it's moving, or at least we will see the projects which popping up and doing the thing. Also, there is another opportunity or possibility for DevOps/Ops engineers in the low-code applications. I mentioned that there is a development side when developers are developing without the code, which is called no code. There is also opportunity for DevOps there. Why? Because once that application is done, it needs to be somewhere deployed. There is anyway some operations costs, and someone need to maintain it, someone need to verify it, someone need to configure the DNS, mail services, and blah 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 blah. So you anyway need to have some DevOps engineer who will be looking for that code and will be helping developers. So again, there will be some work for DevOps engineers even within the no-code platforms. That's about the low-code applications that are coming in. There are a couple of the low-code applications, which are platforms which are available right now, but more coming next year. So let's move on. The next trend for the 2023 is DevSecOps. Like, it's clear that security is very, very critical. It's becoming even more critical. More and more companies doing the DevSecOps. They're trying to make their security as best as possible. And again, I'm anticipating or assuming that next year we will see more DevSecOps projects and more DevSecOps tools, and maybe more different ways to implement security within your infrastructure or application or whatever. I just put a slide here. On a slide, I just put a screenshot of the Azure DevSecOps diagram. So this is how they are suggesting or recommending to do the DevSecOps on top of the Azure cloud. And again, this is just one of the ways to do that. And there are a lot of different aspects in the DevSecOps, and DevSecOps is going to be a hot topic next year, definitely. What I'm expecting to see, I'm expecting to see more automation in DevSecOps, some kind of AI SaaS PaaS solutions for DevSecOps, like smartly analyzing logs and looking for some security-related patterns in the logs, analyzing the traffic, which leads me to AI WAF solutions, web application firewalls, which will be analyzing your traffic and figuring out if it's like a valid traffic or not. I'm expecting to see the DevSecOps tools, which you can like deploy inside the Kubernetes or integrate it with the Terraform or with your Git. So I'm expecting more tools to come up in the DevOps area. And as I mentioned, again, there will be definitely platforms which are trying to automate everything, like the whole DevSecOps process. Probably such like PaaS SaaS solutions will be there as well. And of course, companies will be doing more DevSecOps work next year, which means that security rules, everything security related will be tightened, will be reviewed. Yeah, looks like next year is going to be like a security year, let's say like that. Okay, that's about the DevSecOps. Very interesting topic. Again, you can switch there, you can check it out. It's going to be a good year for this area. What else? The OpenAI. This is the hot topic right now. Probably some of you, or maybe all of you, already heard about the ChatGPT, which were released by OpenAI. And why I actually put it inside the DevOps Trends, because I want to talk with you about the copilots. What the copilot is. Copilot is when you're developing something, you have a copilot who is helping you to do that by giving you the insights or providing you pieces of the code. And the copilot trend is going to be much bigger next year. So, for example, one of the very famous copilots is the GitHub Copilot. And I don't know if you knew about that, but this GitHub Copilot can write code in Terraform. So basically, if you're a DevOps and you are writing the infrastructure, automating infrastructure using the Terraform, basically the GitHub Copilot can help you. You can develop it in parallel with him. He will be suggesting you the code blocks. He will be suggesting you everything, syntaxes. He will be checking it and so on. Then the ChatGPT. Again, as I said, probably most of you already heard about it. If not, this is the AI chat, and this chat is very smart. It's smart enough to basically convert your code from PHP to JavaScript, or it's smart enough to basically convert your Terraform code from the Google to Azure, or from Azure to AWS. It's true. You can simply like copy the piece of the code, you can type it inside the ChatGPT, and you can say, please give me the equivalent for Azure or for I don't know, IBM cloud, whatever, and it will do it for you. So like having the copilot, which is helping you to write the code, and then having the chat that can explain to you how the code is working and can find the issues and can answer on those questions, that's going to be a top next year. I'm pretty much sure that more and more people will be working together with AI Copilot, will be writing the code together, and also will be using that kind of AI chats to double check their like issues, errors, and so on. Again, maybe you didn't heard the Stack Overflow actually banned the replies based on ChatGPT. They're saying that the answers that ChatGPT is giving could be sometimes outside of the actual needs that person is asking inside the question. But again, this is the debatable. I'm pretty much sure that the next year, this like copilot thing, like working together, developing together with AI is going to skyrocket. And I'm not saying that all of us will be replaced by AI, no, but AI will become a part of our like a daily development, a daily automation process. I'm pretty much sure, because right now you don't need to do the simple things by yourself. You can simply say it to one of those copilots, and it will provide it to you. Like, I don't know, you need to do some loop, you need to do some like basic stuff, or you need to bring like a database on AWS and you don't want to figure out how to do that. You can simply ask one of those AIs and they will provide you the piece of the code that you can execute. So that's going to be a big thing next year. And my recommendation to all of you, with no regards, you're a developer or you QA automation or you're a DevOps, Ops, if you're writing any type of the code, please start using the copilots. Please play with the ChatGPT. Cool stuff. It will be very helpful for you next year, definitely. I'm pretty much sure this will change the industry, but we will see. It's this AI part is still growing on. What else? The FinOps. So we were talking about the DevOps part, and we were discussing where the DevOps trends are moving the next year, and now let's discuss where the FinOps trends are moving. So I collect all the FinOps trends together. So what those trends are? The first trend, the FinOps adoption, like FinOps will get more popular this year. More and more companies will start using that. More and more companies will say that from now on, the FinOps should be adopted within our company, and that FinOps should be a process or culture within our company. So more companies will start treating FinOps as a real thing, and they will start using it like for 100%. Because of that, because more and more adoption will happen next year, we will see more FinOps tools coming up. There will be FinOps tools which will be helping you to find where to optimize, to give you some reports, maybe to automate something, maybe to script something. So we'll have more tools. Of course, we will have more FinOps engineers next year. We already see that the number of the FinOps engineer positions, I mean open positions, is growing as crazy. Recession is coming. Companies are trying to squeeze their spendings, and that's why companies are very interested in FinOps and basically squeezing those costs. That's why they're hiring FinOps engineers, and we see the growth of the FinOps engineers next year. Definitely we'll have more. We'll have more FinOps events next year. It's going to be a hot topic as well. And as I mentioned to you, FinOps not only like overall on a cloud. FinOps will be also like on a Kubernetes level, that there will be like a projects and tools related to Kubernetes specific. There will be projects and tools related to Terraform itself. There will be projects and tools related to monitoring. So FinOps FinOps will be like segregated based on the needs. So I'm pretty much sure that some of the companies will be including the FinOps best practices inside the applications next year. I will give you like an idea. Like Elasticache could come in next year with some like reports or metrics related to FinOps part. That could happen, and they could have like give you recommendations about how to size your Elasticache. For example, this is just an example. I'm expecting that more adoption will happen. Also, enterprise FinOps consultancy. As enterprise companies will start building the FinOps practices within the companies, they will be looking for consultancy. They will be looking for companies and engineers who can help them, first of all, to figure out what's happening with the cloud costs spendings right now, what kind of actions they can do right now, like a quick actions, and also they will be looking for help on how to build the company FinOps structure. Should be a team, or should be like a developers or DevOps responsibility, and we don't need to have a dedicated team, or should be like a process or a Jira ticket. That kind of questions enterprise companies will ask. And the next year, we definitely will see the growth of that consultancy need, and I am expecting we will see the growth of consultancy companies or consultancy expertise inside the FinOps. Also, I'm pretty much sure that the trend next year will be to get the FinOps certification. Pretty much sure that more and more companies will be looking to get the certification. And certification could be like engineer certification, means that engineer knows how FinOps works and how to implement FinOps. And also the certification could happen on a layer of application. That application is FinOps certified, or it's a FinOps tool and doing the FinOps job, something like that. So I'm sure that the next year we will see that kind of certifications happening more and more frequently. What else? FinOps business solutions. Definitely we will see already like a potential way to automate the FinOps processes. Like, instead of why you need to hire the consultancy, please go to our PaaS or SaaS solution, and this solution will provide you everything that you need in terms of controlling and building the processes for FinOps. Pretty much sure that next year we will see the projects which will be working in that direction. And the last but not least, machine learning FinOps, meaning that, okay, we have this FinOps, we're collecting a lot of different information related to our financial part, like how much we're spending, where we're spending. So we have a data, why we cannot connect the machine learning and to do something with that data, to look for some patterns, to look for some interesting things. So this year I already saw a couple of the projects which are trying to do with the ML, and again I'm expecting that more and more projects will be doing the machine learning on top of the financial operations area, and we will see more projects coming on in that area. And it's actually very interesting because there is a lot of data related to financial part, and that data is not only infrastructure related, it's very important to business. I will give you an idea. There is a old-fashioned big financial problem, let's call it like that, and a lot of companies is trying to fix that problem, and there is no perfect solution for that problem. And problem is that each and every company wants to calculate how much of the money they are spending per one customer, which is per one customer, and one customer for you, it could be one request, or it could be one session, or it could be one unique user. So, and you need to calculate somehow how much you are paying for the whole infrastructure, which is related to this one user, and with all like dependencies and how much it costs. And it's very hard to do. It's very hard to do. You need to invent like a metric, you need to invent a way how you calculate, and this calculation is going to be different per different company because different business needs, different business models, and so on. And I hope that I actually guess that this ML, adding the ML to FinOps, will not help fix that, but at least we'll be closer to understanding how much we're actually spending per each, again, request or customer or whatever. So that's why this like ML thing is going to be very interesting, because it will bring in different aspects to this area, to FinOps area. So FinOps is also going to be a very hot topic next year. As I mentioned to you, a quick recap is that we will have more engineers, more tools, more projects, and more consultancy projects happening in FinOps area. Yeah, and basically that's it about the trends. I'm ready to answer on your questions, on your comments. We can discuss something. Please send it into the chat. Anyone? Any questions? Yeah, we have a question. What about Web3 and blockchain solutions? Can it be a trend for DevOps activities? Very good question. Right now, not for DevOps, for developers, definitely. Web3 is going to be hot this year. Blockchain will also be, I wouldn't say like hot. You know that the crypto is not in a good shape at the moment because of recession, because of everything, and the amount of the projects which are working in a crypto field is decreased. So I'm not expecting that next year is going to be very good for crypto startups or crypto IT projects. Crypto itself will live good, and maybe next year even go up. I don't know, but the IT projects related to crypto, I don't believe that next year it's going to be a big boom for them, or something like very cool will be happening there. The existing projects will keep growing. That's clear. Web3 is going to be hot topic for developers. Yes. For overall IT industry, yes. For DevOps, I was thinking about that. I don't see right now opportunity for DevOps engineers what to do there, like what we're going to do with the Web3, except like providing the infrastructure, but infrastructure is not going to be so different compared to traditional microservices architecture. We'll see. I'm not sure. For DevOps engineers, not sure. Another question. Hi, Anton. Thank you for interesting presentation. Can you tell me a couple words about Profisea platform development plan for 2023? Interesting. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we have, for those who doesn't know, we have a FinOps platform called the Profisea Labs. We're also using the machine learning, and we're very interested in FinOps area, and we are trying to build a platform that basically solves majority of the FinOps related problems. And for the next year, for at least the first half of the year, we're planning to do the Azure. Azure is a big priority for us. We will have more Kubernetes related features in our platform. We have some things about the spots, like adding more functionality there. And overall, we will bring a few very cool improvements that I cannot talk about right now because it's a secret. Yeah, so a lot of plans. Like the major one is Azure. I want to get Azure as soon as possible. The major one is Kubernetes. Yeah. What else? I have a question about what about serverless computing. It was inside the Kubernetes. I just didn't talk about it. Let me go back to Kubernetes. Inside the Kubernetes, when I was talking about Kubernetes, I was saying that next year we will see more Kubernetes related projects, but I didn't talk about the Knative. Knative with the serverless way of running your applications within the Kubernetes, and the Knative projects or Knative architecture is growing. The implementation it's growing. So next year we will see more Knative related projects like Knative, and not like cloud native serverless like Lambda or functions on GCP, because it's a vendor lock. It still stick to the cloud, and if you're doing the Knative inside the Kubernetes, you have the serverless whenever you want, and you're controlling the infrastructure. So I'm expecting that both will grow. I'm expecting that Knative will grow more than just a regular serverless like Lambda and functions. But yeah, this kind of architecture is still there, and it's improving. It's not that fast as microservices architecture improving, but it's still there, and we will see it as a part of Knative, definitely. What else? Any materials for deep learning for DevOps engineers? It's a question from Pavlo. Good question. Yes, there are already MLOps materials related for DevOps engineers, like how to build a pipeline, how the training happens, what kind of services and tools to use. I saw the one on Linux Academy, Linux Academy, Cloud Guru, Udemy also there, and some of the materials I will send to you privately. Yeah, what else? Yeah, great news waiting for Azure. Okay, yeah, sure. Not only you waiting, a lot of people waiting for Azure. Azure is a hot topic as well. Okay, any other questions? So I just want to add, the serverless definitely can be added to trends. I didn't add it. It can be. I don't believe it's going to be that big, but it will be. Yeah, and the plans about Azure, I already told about that. Anything else? Yeah, I have a question. Is FinOps about tools and platforms only? Can we talk about engineers' involvement as part of FinOps area? For example, migration, disaster recovery solution, DevSecOps, validation, etc. FinOps is interesting. It's the same story as a DevOps. When DevOps started, everyone was saying that DevOps is the culture. It's not the person. It's not the team. It's not the engineer. It's a culture. And the idea was that you have a developer, and developer basically need to be thinking about the infrastructure, the way how he will run the application, and so on. And same story about the FinOps. Like FinOps is basically should be a culture, a process within the company. So like a team of developers and DevOps, they need to know what they're doing. They need to choose less costly solution. They should be looking for squeezing maximum out of the infrastructure and the cost that they have for that infrastructure. Like, let's say, like, this is the amount of money that we have for infrastructure. Let's squeeze maximum of it. Let's think about the architecture that will be suitable for us, suitable for application, and at the same time cost effective. Like, this is what the FinOps is. And some companies will do the process. They will simply say that, you know what, hey guys, from now on, please just follow this process, like create a Jira ticket, someone need to approve it, some will review it, say that, okay, you can go in and create this RDS database, for example. Some companies will say that, no, we don't want to have a process. We just want to have a person, or we have a team. We want to have someone who will be controlling that, who will be checking that, who will be going in teams and asking the questions. So it will depend on a company. I think that like having the structure will be more preferred way, because it's more simple way. It's harder to change the culture rather than just hiring the person and establishing the structure. Okay, next question. Then, are you familiar with the Open Cost project? Yes. What can you say about it? It's a really good project. I actually like it. I think they have a very good potential. Of course, I'm lacking the automation. I want to find a platform that can do everything, that can build me the reports, give me the reports, that I can play with the reports in the way I want. So, for example, I want to find out like what the volumes, like what are my most consuming volumes out of my whole infrastructure. Also, I want to get this recommendations what to do with that. For example, maybe I need to change my volume type from one type to another type, and it will help. And also I want to have the apply button because I want to apply those recommendations. And somehow it should be also connected to my Terraform. So basically, open source project is good, but I believe it's just a start. Let's see what it will be in 1 year or maybe 1.5 years from right now. It's a good project. Okay. Sergey says, thanks for excellent presentation. You are welcome, no problems. Any other questions, comments, guys? If no comments, we will be wrapping up. Okay, no questions. So let's, okay, 2 more minutes, and if no questions, we can wrap up. We'll finish a little bit early. I will give you 15 minutes back, a little bit less. Okay, no more questions. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. I hope that the next year it's definitely going to be challenging, but it's going to be very interesting. So I hope it's going to be very interesting to every one of you, and I hope that we will have really good projects next year. Thank you so much, and have a great day.